Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Meyers Mohawks basketball. Joining us is the head coach, Pat Toole. Well, Pat, a district championship won for your Mohawks, and I'm sure it's a great feeling. And again, the rivalry with Holy Cross has been outstanding in the last several years.
An outstanding team, John. You know, we were thrilled to get a W, a hard-fought game. Obviously, Holy Cross was missing one of their big guns in Connor Jones, who was injured and unable to play. But, that does happen. I mean, last year we had to play them in the district final without Tyreek Stewart. So it's part of the injuries, a part of the game, and we all understand that. But we were thrilled to get a W. I thought my kids really played hard, defended very well, and executed at the end of the game.
And what a week it's been. You had a game against Mid-Valley, an outstanding team. That took 2 overtimes, but you guys found a way to get that done. That was very exciting as well.
It was a crazy atmosphere, and again, a game we certainly could have lost. A couple breaks went our way in the second overtime, and we were able to survive and advance.
Well, Pat, some people would say, hey, boy, he's got it made. He's got all these great players, and the team has changed. It's almost a harder coaching job that you've had this year because you've had some dynamics with different players coming in at different times. And, you're trying to figure out which guys are hitting the floor and earning that time and putting guys in the right situations. And it's kind of a good problem to have, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're doing it right. And obviously, you guys are with the district championship.
Well, I think that's a tribute to my coaching staff and to my players, that they bought into a team concept here, and guys understand their roles. And their roles at this point in the season now are pretty defined. We have some guys that can come in. Tyon Thomas was outstanding for us in the Mid-Valley game. And, for example, Shahi Arelis had a little bit of trouble in that game. Shaw comes back and has a monster game against Holy Cross. But I think that the biggest thing with this group was, after a couple of losses in the season, we really committed to playing tough man-to-man defense. And defense wins championships.
Well, these guys don't leave an inch in front of their opponent. I mean, they're literally right in their grill, and sometimes you get some fouls for that, but at the same time, you'd rather that aggressive style.
Absolutely. And again, I think the fact that we're a little bit deeper than maybe most teams are, that I can go to at least 3 or 4 players, sometimes 5 on the bench. That's a big asset to have, and it allows us to play that aggressive style.
Tyreek Stewart, the clear leader of this team in a lot of different senses. Tell us about this young man who went through that tough injury last year and really has done an admirable job as a leader of this team for the Mohawks.
It was a difficult situation for Tyreek last year to have to sit and watch us play in the district playoffs and state playoffs. And, he has just had a tremendous year. I couldn't be happier for him. He's an excellent basketball player and an outstanding young man. Tyreek is certainly going to be a kid that's going to play at the next level. And his ability to play inside and out makes him a real difficult guard for a lot of teams.
Dominic Pittman, what a huge game for him against Mid-Valley. He really had some great ups and a real spark off the bench as well for you.
Again, another solid player and solid kid. Damo has really accepted a little bit of a change in role this year, playing more in the 4 spot for us. He's grown a little bit from last year, but he's another kid who can step outside, knock down threes. Again, just another weapon that I'm lucky to have.
And then Lamont Twyman comes in and plays some point, kind of has that poise when you need it sometimes, that slow down to make sure you guys are running the offense you want, and then he's got the ability to take the ball to the rack as well.
And he's starting to get into his groove again. Unfortunately, his situation with the transfer wasn't approved until very late in the season. He's only had an opportunity to play about 7 or 8 games for us now. But Lamont is just an outstanding player. He's very, very strong with the basketball. He can defend. and he can get to the rack. The thing with Lamont is his shooting's going to come around now in the next week, I hope, as we get into the state playoffs.
Talking with Pat Toole. We're talking Meyers Mohawks basketball here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Pat, as you head into the state playoffs, every game is challenging, and there's no opponent you could take lightly. And, Towanda may be the 3 seed out of District 4, but, boy, I got to see the top 2 seeds, and they're pretty darn good.
Yes, they are. Towanda scored a ton of points this year. I'm sure you can imagine there were a lot of phone calls and texts going on with coaches across the state today, trying to get information and films. I spoke with Coach Beggs from Nanticoke because he had an opportunity to play Towanda earlier in the year. And it's going to be a formidable game. We're going to be at Wilkes on Saturday at 6 o'clock, and our kids are excited and looking forward to the challenge of winning the game in the state tournament.
Pat, so much goes into being a coach, and people don't see the everyday stuff that's going on. And the one thing, knowing some more stuff that maybe the average person does, is the one thing about people every time, whether you're at Meyers or you're going to Meyers, people say it's all about family. And so true, from coaches to teachers to players to parents. It's really a family there at Meyers, and you've done a great job there at Meyers with your basketball players, who I know, your coaches and your players and the parents and the community. It is truly a family.
I'm blessed to be at the school that I am. The support of the faculty is just incredible, and our kids all live within probably a 5 or 6 block radius. The majority of our kids walk to school. These boys they hang out together. They truly like each other. We've developed a real nice family atmosphere with them, especially this year.
Well, Pat, congratulations on a district championship. I'm sure it's extremely satisfying for you and your players, and great things to come. And, of course, state playoffs happen this weekend. First-round game, Meyers and Towanda. It is Saturday, 6 o'clock at Wilkes University. Pat Toole, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, John. See you soon.
That's Meyers Mohawks basketball here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.